Hello and a very good day to everyone. My name is Shaslin and I am from UiTM Johor Campus Segamat. Today, I would like to explain to everyone about my final year project. Interrupted is a pre-recorded informal podcast that was aired on my personal YouTube channel with a total of 2 episodes that mainly focuses on topics that help teenagers to adulting while growing up. The whole purpose of creating this podcast is to have interaction between friends from different backgrounds to share their experiences of adulting, as well as give out their opinion based on the topics selected. This talk session will create division and healthy arguments. I decided to make a visual podcast instead of an audio-only podcast so that listeners can see the speaker's personality, feelings, reactions, and dedication when expressing their own opinion. This podcast is solely created to widen youngsters' mindset of adulting and inspire them with the new lifestyle that has been created in this generation. This is because people rarely talk about growing up and how to deal with it. It is a known fact that teenagers are going to struggle either way when they reach the age of finally becoming an adult. So, in hoping to enlighten them, the podcast itself will help them open their minds to a different way of thinking, view of life, and answer some of their questions and give them a different perspective of seeing the problem as well as common sense knowledge. I can earn roughly 12 Malaysia ringgit to 20 Malaysia ringgit for every 1,000 video views. Due to copyright claims of music, it is impossible to apply for the official YouTube advertisement in the video. However, it can still be manageable with the right terms and conditions applied. Another thing is merchandise. Once I hit my target listeners, I can make a bunch of different merchandise and sell it to my listeners. The project was done step by step according to the weekly planner that I have made to keep my work organized and done right on time. The first step is online research, mostly about finding out which topics that are currently trending among teenagers, as well as surveying which platform is good to be used to post my podcast. I made my decision to use YouTube, and the main reason is because my podcast comes with visuals. The first episode is about education, while the second episode is about relationships. While filming, there are a lot of new things that I had learned, especially about the UiTM penerapan and how beneficial it is for students. This shows that my podcast is very helpful and full of information. The third step is designing my podcast logo and poster to promote my project on social media. I made a poll to get the engagement and feedback that I needed from my listeners. The pool consists of potential topics that they are more interested to hear in my next podcast. The result shows that listeners are more interested to listen to podcasts that touch on the topic of life. This can be in terms of how the speaker recently dealt with life problems like mental health issues that they can relate to. The second place goes to relationships because the majority of them are dealing with a relationship problem and they are in desperate need of relationship advice from different people's point of view. You can watch the whole podcast on my YouTube channel. Just search my name, Shaslin, and you'll find me on the top search. I had a lot of fun into making this podcast a reality because not only I get to share my opinion but gaining knowledge too. This podcast is worth listening to by teenagers out there as they can improve themselves to do better in this life. Thank you for listening.